Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us again. I'm Dennis Farrell, and I'm very pleased that Keith Sharp, also a board member at the Detroit Business Chamber and involved in the construction industry, is joining me today in our discussion, where we're starting to look at resetting our economic landscape. We're focusing specifically on the construction industry for today. Keith, how are you?
I'm very well under the circumstances, Dennis. We really trying to our level best to get back into operation so that income can start coming for the construction industry players.
Right, thank you, Keith. Yeah, we do hope so. And what we did today, Keith and I have got a few interviews here, so please bear with us today. We might take about 18 minutes of your time. But we want you to listen to what people that are on the ground in the construction industry are saying, and then we'll wrap up. Keith will wrap up for us at the end. So we've got about 7 or 8 short interviews. Keith, the first person we gave us some inputs is Andy Kleinhans, construction. And so it's Andy Kleinhans. He's been in George in the construction industry for a long time. So let's just hear what Andy has to say. There's 2 very short clips from him, and I'd like to share them. We're starting now with Andy.
Hi, Dennis. My name is Andy Kleinhans, and I just want to view the impact of COVID-19 on our small businesses. COVID-19 has had a tremendous implication on our work and on our income. Our workers also has no income, resulting in ultimately criminal acts like break-ins, thefts, robberies, etc. Yeah, it's a big fear. The small business owners with less than 20 workers suffer the most. Delayed actions by government and uncertainties of when the UIF and other relief measures will pay out contribute to these fears. There should be a concerted effort by government to act decisively on these relief measures, like other countries. They should also relax the qualifying measures for small businesses and pay out these relief monies very urgently. The small businesses were very severely affected by the COVID-19 because, A, of the sudden announcements of these lockdowns, the lack of reserve cash of small businesses, the length of the lockdown. It will help a lot if the small construction industry can get back to work, because we know how to apply and keep the lockdown measures in place. It will also help if the business chambers can issue essential services permits. If we don't get back to work soon, the country and the world would suffer a lot because of these criminal activities. I hope that all the efforts we put in will help to contribute the government, or at least will help in telling the government that the small businesses urgently and very urgently needs to go back to the workplace.
Well, there we heard, Keith, we heard there from Andy.
Yes.
Andy took it a bit wider than just that. We also spoke a bit about the impact. Just some brief comments from your side.
Yeah, I think, one can sense helplessness also and almost hopelessness, even from Andy, and the real need to get back to work so that some income is generated. And guys are really afraid that they're going to lose their workers and close their companies.
Yes, thank you for that. We also spoke to Jethro Solomon. He is an architect here in George, young architect, and let's hear what Jethro shared with us.
Yeah, as the director of JS Architecture, COVID-19 is really affecting our business. And due to most of our projects and developments being placed on hold, with some clients not being able to proceed with their building projects due to the impact of COVID-19 on their financial situation. I'm also acting as project manager for a few developments, and the contractors with projects already started are suffering the most due to financial loss. For example, slabs that were cast before lockdown are supported by rented formwork. So contractors are really battling to survive, and their staff as well. I suggest the construction industry be opened with applied health measures in place, and each construction site be assessed, and based on the content of the construction work, all contractors will have to adapt the environment and spend some time educating the employees on how they can prevent the spread of COVID-19. And yeah, I believe that with proper operational planning, a construction site can be COVID friendly.
Well, there we heard from Keith, we heard from Jethro, and the interesting comment that he makes here is in terms of the formwork that is that's standing there now, and I'm sure these guys have to be paying for it now, the contractors or the developers.
Yeah, invariably the hire company will want some of the proceeds, and I'm sure they'll also be a little bit understanding, but they can't be totally understanding because they also need the income. So unfortunately, it's going to be a lose-lose situation. And Jethro also mentions that there can be oversight on contractors to ensure that health and safety is observed and COVID-19 regulations COVID is mitigated. So that's also encouraging from the architectural side who project manages the site.
Right, thank you. Now we're just going to listen to Etienne Jans van Rensburg. He's from Omrit Trading, and let's hear what he has shared with us.
Môre, ja, my naam is Etienne, ontwikkelaar in George. Die COVID-19 het definitief 'n groot invloed op ons bouery. Nie net finansiëel nie, maar ook vir ons werknemers waaronder lê. Want as hulle nie werk nie, kry hulle nie geld, hulle is kontrakteurs. Ons probeer hulle sover as moontlik finansiëel help, maar dit is nie baie maklik nie. En toe dan sou ons begin werk, het ons al reeds al die nodige maatreëls in plek om dit veilig te kan doen.
Very short one from Etienne there. Any comments on that before we listen to Andre?
Again, Dennis, you can sense the feeling of helplessness and the fear that workers and employers are suffering.
Thank you. Let's hear what Andre says.
Good morning. My name is Andre Teron from Roof and Home in George, and we are a construction company. And according to me, I can't see any reason why the construction industry can't be opened up. And I'm referring to the general construction of building homes and do alterations and repairs at homes. The health and safety measurement set out by the government seems to be straightforward. And if we maintain the same rules and regulations as, for instance, a supermarket staff would have, I can't see any problem. And the implementation of the health and safety will have an extra cost incurred to each and every job, but that can't be that much. And I think if it's just monitored correctly, can't see any reason why it can't continue or start up again. Because at this stage we've got multitude of jobs standing still, not getting finished, and then the financial impact is actually immeasurable at this stage, as we are just losing money hand over fist. Obviously, our employees are also suffering the same manner, and yes, that's basically all I have to say regarding this.
Then we've got from GS Construction. Let's hear what Ari has to say to us here.
Hi, good morning, Jethro. We as GS Construction, we give work to plus minus 50 to 60 people at any given stage during the projects that we run. Probably more around about 80 people at any given stage during the projects that we run. And now because of COVID-19, it affects basically 80 families. Because we can't supply work to our permanent staff, our subcontractors, our casual laborers. They can't take money home to their families. So indirect, just our company alone, due to COVID-19, can't supply money or food, any resources to an average of 400 people then, if you take the families into account. the clients that we have that needs to move into the houses, we can't finish their houses. They sit with extra costs of staying where they're staying, renting where they need to rent. They sit with outdated contracts where they needed to move out and they can't. All that sort of stuff. So, and we still sit with our overhead. So you sit with office rent, you sit with vehicles, you sit with insurance, all that sort of stuff that does not end. So overheads go on. But you can't invoice because there's no money, obviously no work getting done. So no money is coming in and no money can go out to the people who really need it. So yeah, no, it's affecting us very badly. And the longer it goes on, the worse the effect's going to be, because there needs to be a major catch-up, to cover all lost overheads, lost costs, everything. So,
well, there we heard from Ari. And then before we do a comment, let's just hear what Brenton says.
Brenton Gray. COVID-19 lockdown is seriously affecting us, both from all professionals, from plumbers, engineers, architects, carpenters, roof contractors, aluminium contractors. Some are allowed to operate under certain conditions, but I think with limited income. Electricians, for argument's sake, can only do emergencies. A lot of work comes from contractors like myself. Plumbers can only do emergencies, which is small stuff. A lot of people probably can do DIY. A lot of time they call them out to do something because they're out working, but now they're at home, so they fix it. So the plumbers and electricians, more than likely, like the plumbers, aren't really getting anything done other than small things that the DIY can't really do. Plumbers also get the majority of work from contractors like myself. I'm getting a day-to-day basis of guys asking me, where's work? Can I work? I'm telling you, I don't know. We need dates. We need dates when we can start. Clients are wanting to cancel contracts. They don't know when it's going to end. If we got a date, we know exactly when we're going to start, we can start. The actual implement of safety, we're outdoors. We're not enclosed in an office with an aircon circulating air. We're in fresh air. The chances of getting a contact is very, very minimal. That is open air. So, and we can control a smaller number of people. And we haven't got public coming to us like any form of shopping center. So we have XYZ amount of people on site, and that's what it is. No more. If we do have other contractors, we have to obviously apply the necessary control of those who have to come in, which will more likely have their control in from their side of the business as well. So I feel it is a far safe avenue to get the construction industry going, as well as trying to at least get more finances going out in the system that is needed, and it will definitely help boost a lot and get things planning done. I hope this helps.
Then, Keith, we've also got some input from Jock.
Goeiemiddag. Ek is in die konstruksiebedryf nou al vir 24 jaar. Ek onderhou heidaglik met die corona lockdown my mense, dat hulle elke week geld het om te kan eet. Ek voel dat op hierdie stadium is almal besig om te verhonger. Besighede is besig om swaar te kry. Dit raak nou noodsaaklik dat ons besighede oopmaak vir ons mense, vir onsself en ook vir ons besighede. In die konstruksie sou ek reken dat op een konstruksieterrein is dit baie veilig vir jou werkers om te werk. Hulle werk in die oop lug. Jy het nette wat jou konstruksieterrein omhein is mee en niemand word toegelaat om van die terrein af weg te beweeg nie. So wat health and safety aanbetref, kan ons toesien dat ons mense veilig is, hulle maskers dra, hulle hande gereeld was, en nie heeltemal by mekaar uitkom om kontak te hê nie, want verskeie mense werk op verskeie gedeeltes van hierdie konstruksie. Die ander sy van die saak is ook dat waar ons bouterreine het, wat ek huidiglik het, staan die projekte en die kliënte is besig om krapperig te raak oor dit en hulle wil vordering sien. En daar is ook moontlikhede dat kliënte nie meer verder wil bou nie. Hulle is te bang vir die ekonomie, hulle weet nie wat gaan gebeur nie. En met lockdown is hulle nog meer huiwerig. So my versoek aan julle wat ek graag wil rig is, laat ons terreine kan oopmaak, laat ons konstruksie kan oopmaak, laat ons kan werk en dat ons land Suid-Afrika weer kan versterk en vir ons land ook 'n inkomste kan genereer, want ons land gaan geld nodig hê vir 'n inkomste. Sterkte met die lockdown.
Well, Keith, there we've got a few in a row that we listened to. Any comments on that before we're going to listen to Greg from MBA?
Yeah, Dennis, both Jacques and Brenton mentioned the clients. The clients are also very fearful, and they really in a state now of uncertainty because they don't know when their projects are going to be completed, and they've obviously went out on a limb with capital, either loans or bonds, and they are now also stuck in a real state of limbo. So they are also just feeling as hopeless as the contractors and the workers.
Then I think it's important to listen what Master Builders Association, Greg Steele, has to say to us before we do a wrap-up.
Good day. My name is Greg Steele. I am the Executive Director of the East Cape Master Builders Association. The association is a registered employers organisation representing the interests of building contractors, subcontractors and material manufacturers and suppliers in the Eastern and Southern Cape regions. We therefore operate in both the Western Cape Province and the Eastern Cape Province and represent around about 500 companies in that area. We're part of a national body, Master Builders South Africa, and have also formed a construction COVID-19 rapid response task team, through which we submitted comments to the Department of Corporate Governance on their risk-adjusted lockdown strategy. Our local submission has always also been forwarded to the Western Cape provincial government, as well as to a number of the municipalities within the region that we operate in. Our submission was able to secure the inclusion of construction under the banner of public works. However, it was not successful in securing the inclusion of commercial building and residential building under level 4. Our initial proposal was that all live construction sites on the 26th of March 2020 should be included under level 4. We therefore cannot see the rationale behind excluding private work, and particularly commercial and residential construction. The construction industry contributes significantly to the levels of employment, particularly in these small towns, and our members, mainly small businesses and their employees, are experiencing particular hardship as a result of the extended lockdown. It is very urgent, therefore, that we move as quickly as possible to level 3 in terms of the lockdown, or alternatively that private, commercial and residential work be reallocated to level 4 in terms of all active construction sites. The industry employs very strict health and safety measures, and the MBA is instrumental in ensuring that those are enforced and will continue to do so in support of our members who are returning to work. We need to lower the lockdown levels in some of the small towns on a differential basis as well, in order to stimulate the local economy, secure jobs and get the industry working again. Greg Steele, East Cape Master Builders Association.
Keith, there we have that. Could you give us some inputs from your side?
Dennis, if I must just summarize a little bit, with all the different speakers, one can sense a feeling of helplessness, a feeling of need, and a feeling of hopelessness. The harsh fact is that when companies have no income, they cannot survive too long. Companies fear for both their own and their staff and their workers' well-being and survival. Clients are also becoming fearful with uncertainty. Many employers feel they can manage the health and safety issues with respect to COVID so that the infection spread can be mitigated. What does help in this respect is an association like the MBA, who assists companies with their health and safety plans. And I just have to reiterate and make clear that it is incumbent on the employers and the companies to ensure that the workers follow the correct guidelines and to ensure that they mitigate the spread of the disease. Because what we don't want, of course, is that the disease can be spread amongst our workers. In short, Dennis, that's the message from really most of the guys.
Yeah. Keith, thank you very much for that. And also just to the construction industry, as from George Business Chamber, just to reiterate as well as for other industries, we also submitted to the government through the provincial government the risk-rated approach, and we do feel that the construction industry, under the strict guidelines of specific health and safety, is an industry that could be opened very soon, specifically in areas such as ours where we've got presently a very low rate of infections. So Keith, thank you very much for joining me this afternoon in the discussion. And as for our viewers out there as well, thank you for spending a bit longer time with us and listening to this podcast. Keith, any final words from you?
No, thanks, Dennis. I hope that the president and the command COVID command team takes our suggestions on board and really allow construction to get back into work.
Well, thank you, Keith, for that, and good afternoon, everybody, and have a good day further, and stay safe and healthy.